Senior national correspondent John Roberts live from Trump Tower, Midtown Manhattan. John, good morning. What is the latest from your post? Good morning.
Well, another bombshell this morning that was just delivered to me about 30 seconds ago, Bill. Some breaking news here. More changes at the very top of the Trump campaign. I'm told that this morning his campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, offered and Donald Trump accepted his resignation. So Paul Manafort out now as campaign chairman of the Trump campaign. These changes continue to go on. Trump believes now with Steve Bannon as his chief executive officer and Kellyanne Conway as his campaign manager. He now has the team to take him through to the general election. Of course, Manafort was involved in a power struggle with Corey Lewandowski, who was fired back in June. But Manafort lately has kind of run into some problems of his own. All of these reports and these stories that have been out about exactly what was his involvement with Viktor Yanukovych, who was the prime minister of the Ukraine, and what connections were there to Russia. Probably this all factors into it. They're not saying that this is a factor, but probably does factor into all of this. So Manafort again out. Steve Bannon and Kellyanne Conway now in charge of the Trump campaign. Donald Trump will be on the ground in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in a few minutes. He is going to be visiting Greenwell Springs Baptist Church. This is a church where Samaritan's Purse, the organization run by Franklin Graham, is using as a staging area for relief supplies. And then from there he's going on to Diamondale, Michigan for a rally. It was supposed to be at 3 o'clock this afternoon, has now been pushed back to 5 to give Donald Trump some more time on the ground there in Baton Rouge. At the same time, on the campaign trail, after holding fire for so long, Donald Trump now out with a $5 million 10-day ad buy in 4 of the big swing states, Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, and Pennsylvania, going after Hillary Clinton on the issue of safety in the United States and immigration, contrasting her immigration policies with Donald Trump's policies about illegal immigration. Last night, in Charlotte, North Carolina, more prepared remarks. Donald Trump reading from a teleprompter. More talk about fighting the war against radical Islamic terrorism, law and order, reaching out to African Americans, about rebuilding inner cities, also reaching out to independents and moderates. Trump basically saying, maybe it hasn't been working for you in the past. Time to try something new. Here he is in Charlotte.
What do you have to lose by trying something new? I will fix it. This means so much to me, and I will work as hard as I can to bring new opportunity to places in our country which have not known it in a very, very long time.
This is a format that the campaign likes. It allows Donald Trump to get the feedback from the audience that he likes, and from the campaign perspective, keeps him very in a disciplined fashion on message. And they plan on continuing this afternoon in Diamondale. Bill, another prepared remark, another set of prepared remarks read from a teleprompter.
Let's come back to the headline of the hour, John. You're breaking the news that Paul Manafort is out. Now let's just back up a couple of days when the move came with Kellyanne Conway. It was reported that over the weekend that Trump was at some events in Southampton, New York, and a couple of the big supporters came up to him and said, "You're being a puppet of Paul Manafort." And it's been reported that that really ticked him off, and during the day Sunday, that's when he started to think that there had to be a change. I know you've heard about that story. Is there any truth to it, John?
Yeah, I mean, there's truth to all of this stuff, Bill. There's truth to the campaign reboot. There's truth to the intervention. There's truth to all of that. And now the campaign is just kind of leaking this out now that they have come to a realization that the Trump campaign was going the wrong direction. Donald Trump was bristling against, having a harness put on him and steered in a certain direction. He wants to be him. With the current campaign management they got in place right now, and I was speaking to Kellyanne Conway at Link this morning as she was on her way into Trump Tower. They think they've got this campaign in a real sweet spot. Kellyanne Conway is suggesting a lot of things to Donald Trump that her metrics from polling are showing would be a good direction, but it's all, she says, his decision. You got Steve Bannon there now running it. He's a real fighter. He's a guy who wants to let Trump be him. So I think what we've got here, Bill, going forward is a combination of Trump being the aggressive, combative, populist candidate that he was during the early part of the primary campaign, yet at the same time kind of pulling in a little bit with much more focus. This idea of keeping him on teleprompter so that his campaign rallies don't add up to, as many people have observed in the past, kind of word salad. They've got him going in the right direction. They think that this is something that can turn the polls around. When I said to Kellyanne Conway that obviously the poll numbers are going in the wrong direction, she says, I'd rather be dead at the end of August than dead at the end of October. So they believe they've got some time to turn this around, and they're seeing some things in their internal polls that they like as a result of what they've been doing for the past few days.
Wow. Major news. Manafort's out. 2 major changes in 4 days. Thank you, John Roberts, Midtown Manhattan at the Trump Tower.